Hello guys. Right now we're going to start our practice on assigning oxidation numbers. Over here I have some examples. I'm going to start with UF6. Okay, so we're going to use the guidelines that we've just learned to assign the oxidation number for U and the element F. Okay, so the first thing that I have to start with is that, always start with the element that you already have information about. So you already know, or you already have some information about fluorine, right? So what we're going to do is that we're going to assign the rule in your book that says that fluorine always has a oxidation number of -1 because it's the most electronegative element in the periodic table. And I'm looking at the rules, and that is mentioned in rule number 3. Okay, so that's how we start. Okay, so we're going to put a -1 over fluorine. Okay, so we start by doing that. So we're going to put a -1 here. Now, remember that one of the rules says that the total or the net charge or the net of the oxidation numbers has to equal 0. So what does that mean? That means that the whole charge that appears here has to be 0. As you can see, it is 0. I mean, the -1 here is only for fluorine. Okay, don't mix that. So in the beginning, before I put the -1, it was UF6, right? There was no charge here, so the charge is 0. Okay, how many atoms of fluorine do I have? I have 6. So 6 multiplied by -1 plus the oxidation number of that of U, element U, and I'm going to put here, you can refer to it as X if you want, okay, an unknown. So this leaves you with a linear equation with one unknown. Okay, so we're going to work this out. 0 minus 6 plus X, and then we're going to move the -6 to the other side. That's going to be a +6 equals X. So this is the charge of this element over here. And this is actually how we're going to work out the rest of these. Now, if you want to make sure that your solution is correct, all you need to do is that just substitute. So for U, F6, I'm going to switch to black here. So this is +6, and this is -1 multiplied by 6 atoms. That gives you -6. So +6 -6 add up to 0. That means that our work is correct. Okay, let's move on to H2SO4. Let's assign all these oxidation numbers. As you can see, we know that hydrogen is +1. It's multiplied by 2. So if I ask you what is the oxidation number of hydrogen here, you're not going to say it's +2. You're going to say it's +1. Okay? This is a common mistake. Okay, oxygen is -2 multiplied by 4. What is the oxidation number of sulfur? Now, the net charge is 0. 0 equals 2 plus. If you want to stay in track, you can also write S just to make sure that this is what you're looking for, or you can put X here. Okay, this is just a personal preference. So I'm just going to put S here this time because, every time I solve it in a different way, just because I know that there are, different, students that like to work out things in different ways, and just personal preferences. So, and then here you're going to have -8, 0 equals -6 plus S. Move that to the other side, S. So let's make sure. Let's substitute. Okay, we're going to work this out over here. We can do it here too. Okay, so plus 2 plus 6 minus 8. That is correct. Okay, let's move on to the next example. That's correct. With a net charge of minus, that means that minus 1, the net charge is equal to what? To that of chlorine and 3 atoms of, to chloride, sorry, and 3 atoms of oxygen. Okay, so we already know that oxygen is -2, so that's a -2. Oxygen is -2 multiplied by 3. Okay, so if I ask you what is the oxidation number of oxygen, you're going to say oxygen is -2. Okay, now we're trying to find the oxidation number of chlorine here. Okay, so -1, which is the net charge for the whole polyatomic ion, is equal to that of chlorine. Let's say we're not sure it's -1. We already know that because it's from group 17, but let's double check, because in your book, as you can see here, in this figure, this is just to tell you that, you know, pay attention. Sometimes some elements that you're used to from the P block can have different oxidation numbers sometimes. Okay, so let's go back. And as you can see here, if I want to show you, chlorine can be a -1, +1, +3, +5, or +7. So let's check this one out. Okay, and then we have -6 here, and then -1 plus 6 equals that of chlorine, plus 5 is equal to chlorine, so chlorine is +5. Let's double check our work here. Chlorine, if chlorine is +5 and oxygen is -2, multiplied by 3, that's -6. Is that equal to -1? Yes, correct. Okay, let's move on to the next example. I have phosphorus and I have oxygen. Okay, we already know that oxygen is -2. And there is no net charge.